Not now, citizen. Can't you see I have my hands full at the moment? I'm sure a guard or one of my brigadines can assist you. Why didn't you say so? Leowin's problems are legion, and now the Wood Elf Archer's predictions seem to be coming true. Damn these old Imperial secrets. Councillor Jirik has disappeared, and the Ivory Brigade is already spread too thin for my liking. The Wood Elf, Everly Sharparrow. She brought news that the Dark Brotherhood was targeting members of the Elder Council, all because of some secret of the Longhouse Emperors. We took her warning seriously, but Jirik refused Brigadine protection. With that guild of assassins, I'm not sure what to think. But Jirik is missing, and I don't have enough Brigadines at the ready to conduct a proper search. You look capable. So, care to earn some gold and help us determine the Councilor's fate? Here, let me update your map. These are places Jirik visits during her daily routine. If something befell her, it happened somewhere along this path. Meanwhile, I have Everly Sharparrow checking locations in the city. She was very eager to help. Interesting. She arrived a short time ago with a tale straight out of a mystery novel. She said that Emperor Leovik's former steward had been murdered by the Dark Brotherhood, killed over some secret pertaining to the Longhouse Emperors. Ah, then you must be the associate she was waiting for. She'll be glad to hear that you've arrived. Everly presented her evidence to Councillor Leviticus, that the members of the Elder Council were in danger. He decided the threat was credible. Councillor Leviticus has kept her close, while the two of them try to make sense of this so-called secret. I have yet to be made privy to the details. With Jirik's disappearance, I'll send Everly to check places the Councilor frequents in the city.
Captain, are you really trusting the fate of Councillor Jirik to this outsider?
Oh, why didn't Councillor Jirik heed your warnings?
If the Ivory Brigade requires mercenaries to do their job, perhaps Leowin needs different protectors.
Over here. Rock. I open my claws in humility, Wanderer. Please, stay to hear my story. Have you heard of the Soulzon tribe? Vicious and unrelenting, they wander to the swamps, attacking any they find. Now, they've fallen upon my home in Rockgrove. A horde of those impure Limphins raided the old city and seized the Zanmir. They captured so many of my kin, or returned them to darkness. Their purpose hides from us. But our Stone Talker claims he recognized their leader, Basse. With a stiff tail and bared abdomen, I beg for your aid. Please, gather a force of your strongest allies. Travel to Rockgrove and drive out the Soulzon. Defend what is left of my tribe, and they will surely reward you.
Counselor Jirik? Oh, pardon me. You're not the counselor. Apologies. I heard you stumbling about and thought it might be Counselor Jirik. Oh, no one important, I assure you. I'm simply one of the counselor's aides. I help her with paperwork mostly. Run errands, that sort of thing. She initially refused the captain's offer, but she received a letter that made her uneasy. Last I saw, she was headed back to the city by way of the Eastern Gate. But she never returned to her manor, so I came to look for her. Please, find her.
last much longer. Someone! Anyone! Help me! I refused to believe, but Farrell, Leviticus, they were right. I was attacked. An assassin. You must warn the others, the counselors. Leofic's secret, it will be the death of us all!
Counselor Jirik! Damn, we're too late! Damn it. Looks like we were both too late. It's just like I expected when we found that list with all the counselors' names on it. I hate being right when somebody dies. Glad to see you made it here, by the way. Did you happen to see who killed her? The mark of the Dark Brotherhood, just like Farrell Lupus. Remember I said I was going to find Leviticus? Well, I did. And turns out, he's the head of the city's Chamber of Legates. I just wish another person hadn't died because of this damn secret. The secret of the Longhouse Emperors. It has something to do with the 4 ambitions of Mehrunes Dagon. I think they're Daedric weapons, but that's all we know so far. Remember, I was working for Farrell Lupus. He sent me to find that strange tome. Right, and we found that list with all the counselors' names on it. Farrell's too. The one that suggested they all knew something about the ambitions. Since Farrell was murdered, I figured the others were in danger too. Looks like I was right. Let me have your map. This is where Counselors Valeria and Sophis were last time I checked. Go warn them. Convince them the threat is real. Then meet me at Counselor Jirik's manor in the city. Maybe we can find something more about this secret. I'll get the city guards to come and gather the Counselor's body. She shouldn't just be left out here. Then I'll head to Counselor Jirik's manor. When you're done checking on Counselor Valeria and Counselor Sophis, meet me there. Oh, I'm still trying to make a name for myself. I was green as a blade of grass when we met in Orsinium. Now I've got a few more adventures under my belt. But I've never dealt with anything quite like this. This is more than I bargained for.
Oh, hello. Can you come over here and help me? You look like a hardy soul, unconcerned with the prospect of death by trick, trap, or misadventure. How do you feel about helping a defenseless scholar from Gideon unearth a little history from Undertow Cavern? Oh, and can you swim? Have you heard of Phaelivon the Magnificent? He was a famous Nibonese Minotaur hunter, but his final resting place was lost to time. After years of searching, I think I finally found the site of Phaelivon's mausoleum. I hope to recover proof that this is Phaelivon's tomb. His armor, helm, and sword would do nicely. But I didn't get far before I found the cavern overrun with goblins and minotaurs, and parts of it are flooded. I'll pay you well to help me. No one in Leowyn realizes that Undertow Cavern is the final resting place of a great hero. Let me secure my belongings and I'll meet you inside. Time to grab the bull by the horns and wade right in. I found accounts of Phaelivon's burial in a shining mausoleum on a hill outside Leowyn. He was laid to rest with his arms and armor, relics of his many victories. This is the place, but goblins infest the caverns, and minotaurs too. That's because it was swallowed by the earth. One night, 700 years ago, people living nearby heard a terrible sound. When they came to look in the morning, they found that the whole mausoleum had fallen into the caves underneath the hill. Because the caves beneath this hill were the site of Phaelivon's last and greatest battle. The mausoleum was a monument to his victory, as well as his tomb. Until Undertow Cavern swallowed it up anyway. Just the sort of place goblins love. Darksome, dank, and foul. His armor shone by the light of moons or sun. It's just too bad Minotaurs are enraged by shiny objects. I can just picture this sword cleaving savage minotaurs. A pity it's dull beyond use now. Imagine how many times this helm saved the heroic Phalavon's head! Except that last time, obviously. The armor, helm, and sword are all badly damaged. Skeptics might say these could have belonged to anybody. We need to find Phalavon's Horn of Magnificence to settle the question for good. But where is the horn? Why isn't it here? Phalavon's Horn of Magnificence was his greatest treasure. My grandmother told me he made it from the horn of a Minotaur lord. It had a brass cap inscribed with an intricate design. When Phalavon blew it, echoes rang from the hills for 7 days. I am. Mostly. But yes, I have a personal stake in this. Phaelivon is a distant ancestor. I grew up on stories of his battles, his magic horn. Oh, could this be about the horn? Grandmother told me the horn's note drove minotaurs mad with fear and rage. But sometimes the horn called minotaurs to battle even when no one sounded it. Maybe the minotaurs are here because of the Horn of Magnificence. Oh, I wondered about that too. House Vero mostly died out long ago, but they were certainly real enough. We can trace a relationship to Phaelivon's line on my mother's side. There is truth to my grandmother's tales. I'm certain of it. No. No one outside my family remembers Phaelivon. Almost all of the histories that recorded his deeds have been lost. Even his mausoleum vanished. But now I'm close to the proof that Phaelivon really existed and was a great hero. Did you hear that? Phaelivon's horn! I'm sure I heard the horn in this chamber. But who sounded it? Phaelivon's horn! Just as the stories described it. Did this goblin sound the note we heard? It looks like we can get out through here, if you don't mind getting a little wet. Finally, proof of Phaelivon's legend. I'll be the talk of Gideon once I bring these trophies home. And yet, I wonder, did the goblins here cause their own troubles by meddling with Phaelivon's horn? Or is it dangerous to just keep around? I want to take them back to Gideon and prove, once and for all, that my family's story is true. Fame, fortune, festivities await. But if these relics, especially the Horn of Magnificence, are dangerous, perhaps I shouldn't bring them home. You're right. Phaelivon's magnificence deserves to be remembered far and wide. I'll take these historical relics to Gideon and prove the truth of my family's old legends. Thank you for your encouragement. We may be bruised, battered, and wet, but these relics tell a magnificent story. Without your help, I'd never have learned about the fate of Phaelivon and the Horn. Thank you. Oh, I shouldn't forget your pay. Visit me in Gideon sometime. I hope to see you again sometime. Although I must confess, now that I've finally found evidence supporting the legend of Phaelivon, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do next. Don't worry about me. I shall set out at once, and I shall neither fear, fret, nor flinch from any dangers on my road. After all, I share the bloodline of a great hero. A few generations removed, anyway.
We weren't expecting visitors. Are you here to see the counselor? Are you here to speak with Counselor Sophis? I'm afraid my husband has taken our dog for a walk. Is there something I could help you with, perhaps? Danger? What are you talking about? Does this have something to do with that letter? And who are you, by the way? Captain Rianne? I see. Well, if the Ivory Brigade sent you, my husband likes to walk our dog Chero along the tree line. Go on and find him. I'll wait here in case he returns. My husband, Valen, received a letter from an old friend this morning. Farrell Lupus, Emperor Leovic's steward. I could see that whatever was in that letter upset him, but he didn't want to discuss it, and I didn't push him. Now please, go find him. What's taking you so long? They should...
Valen! No! Oh, Valen! Oh, my love! What happened? I thought Captain Rianne sent you to protect my husband!
You know, Valen acted strange after the letter from Farrell Lupus arrived. He didn't tell me what it said, and I never asked. Before he left today, he gave me a sealed scroll, said to give it to Counselor Leviticus if anything ever happened to him. A scroll, sealed and bearing my husband's stamp. Take it. Give it to Counselor Leviticus. I hope it helps catch whoever murdered my husband. I'll summon the town guard. They'll help me with my husband.
Stay alert. I have it on good authority that I'm in danger.
Of course, Counselor.
Step back and state your business. I have every reason to believe that my life is in danger. If you so much as make a threatening gesture, the Brigandine will dismember you. He has very strict orders on that regard. I was beginning to suspect as much. Very well. Tell me everything that you have learned. Leave nothing out. I want to hear it all. Lupus, Emperor Leovik's old steward, and Jirik as well? Gods, they are targeting the Elder Council. Anything else? Tell me. The slightest detail could mean the difference between life and death. The ambitions? I heard that term once before, years ago. I must go to Tidewater Cave. I have a cache hidden there, and I need to check my records. Meanwhile, I suggest you find Jirik's files. She kept them in a hidden compartment in her nightstand. Possibly. I oversaw the Imperial Treasury, so my records deal with expenditures and collections. I have documents going as far back as Emperor Morikar, possibly even Durkarach, and I know I saw that term someplace. I will see what I can find. Extremely well. We were rivals as well as colleagues on the Elder Council. It was that way between all of the counselors, I suppose. Her death is a tragedy, however. I will miss her.
Just pet the dog. It's harmless. Oh, Tertia, you idiot. No wonder he hasn't... Is there something you want? I'd like to be left alone right now. Body? Ring? Oh, Riemann on high. What's this about? Aloysius wrote this? And he's dead? This makes no sense. Howling? Chicken coops? It was just a mangy mutt. I don't even think it was rabid, let alone... Oh no, Aloysius. You poor fool. He wasn't cursed. He was hallucinating. The toad that Argonian used to ease his pain must have been too strong for him. Aloysius convinced himself he was a werewolf, and he... This is the second worst proposal I've ever had. I was once kidnapped by a crazed Sulzan warlord and offered the heads of my neighbors as a dowry. I'd rather not talk about it. I've had more than a dozen failed engagements in my life. If anyone here is cursed, it's me. But it's not all bad news. Aloysius didn't run off and leave me like half the others. He even gave his life to protect me. I've never had anyone love me that much. Is it wrong that makes me happy? Take this, for delivering my betrothed's last wishes. It was kind of you. I wonder if the Temple of Mara would marry us posthumously. It was his dying wish, after all. Maybe I should employ a priest of Arche for the ceremony, so he can pass on without regrets? Well, why not? I've had absolutely no luck with the living, and it's what he wanted. I'd rather die a widow than an old maid. It's not like this is how I dreamed of getting married, but after being jilted so many times, I may as well marry a man who can't change his mind. You may not get it, but for your sake, I hope you never have to.
So many new faces in the city. Are you here about the notice? We can use the help. If you need work and aren't concerned about risks, then we should talk. As a representative... Oh no, not me personally. I work for Leowin's Chamber of Legates. These days, I'm more of an administrator. Have been since the time of the Longhouse Emperors. Speak to Dietm Joss or Britta Silenus. If you prefer to work alone, see Dietm Joss. He's got odd tasks, but they pay well. If you're interested in group tasks, talk to Britta Silenus. Group work is dangerous. Bring friends. Here's a modest advance to show you that we're serious about these efforts. Remember, see Dietm Joss for jobs.
I'm sure there are many who wish to wield the mace of the Crusader, but I could care less about the responsibility attached to such an honor. I'd rather live my carefree life here in Leowin and pay others to handle things.
Oh, hey! Over here! I'm glad you're here. I've been searching all over, but I could use your help. This place is huge. Why do rich people need so many rooms? Oh, but tell me, did you warn the counselors like I asked? Sophus is dead? Damn! Was it the Dark Brotherhood? What am I saying? Of course it was! I've torn this place apart, but so far I haven't found anything related to Imperial secrets or the ambitions. Maybe you can spot something I missed. I knew you'd be a help, but I didn't expect you to just have the answer the moment you walked in. Good job! Councillor Jiric's bedroom is upstairs. Let's see if we can find that hidden compartment. hidden compartment? I love it! I mean, I hate that people have died, but... So, what did you find? Let me see that. That's a code, all right. Some of the other documents I found use something similar. You know, I'm really starting to hate all this secrecy surrounding the ambitions. I'm almost certain of it. And Councillor Leviticus knows my brother. We talked about him a bit when I arrived. If there isn't a qualified scribe nearby, I can send for my brother. Let's go to Leowyn Castle and talk to Leviticus. I can't help feeling that once we solve the secret of the Longhouse Emperors, we'll know how to stop the Dark Brotherhood from murdering any more of the councillors. I'll see you at the castle.
I need your report, mercenary. Word reached me that Councillor Jirik was murdered. What about Sophus and Valeria? And did you find definitive proof that the Dark Brotherhood is our culprit? That's the Black Hand, symbol of the Dark Brotherhood. I wish Jirik and Sophus had allowed me to assign brigadines to protect them. At least Valeria, however reluctantly, agreed to a military escort. Did you and Everly uncover any other information? It appears that Councillor Leviticus's trust in the Wood Elf was not misplaced. Very well. You and Everly can head in and talk to the Councillor.
Captain Rian and the Ivory Brigade will deal with the Dark Brotherhood. We are perfectly safe in here.
Your damn empire, Leviticus.
I saw
it
that.
no longer
Didn't think I was
exists,
watching,
but it
I
still
was.
causes us trouble.
You must be the mercenary that Captain Rian told me about. And I see you're working with Everly Sharparrow. Good. Good. I assume you have something to report. I'm listening. Damn it all to oblivion and back. I should have taken Pharaoh Lupus more seriously when I received his letter. This is definitely the mark of the Dark Brotherhood. Anything else to add to this? Yes, that's the Longhouse Emperor's code. Only a handful of Imperial scribes can decipher it. I know one. Baragon. I'll send for him at once. Meanwhile, we must warn the remaining councillors on the list. Eivor, Valeria, Itinia, and Vandacia. Very good. I've sent messages to Itinia and Vandacia already, as neither of them are currently within Leowin's jurisdiction. I need you to go to Fort Blueblood. Councillor Eivor has taken refuge there, but I'd prefer to have her here in Leowin. Everything we do now must be swift if we are to get ahead of this. Go to Fort Blueblood and convince Councillor Eivor to return to the city. She'll be safer here than at the fort.
Fort Blueblood? That's to the east across the river. I'll meet you there.
Well, we can't wait any longer. We should begin the experiment.
With no porters, no assistants. This endeavor's been a farce from the start, Revis. Now it's a doomed one.
Well, here's a turn of luck. It's me, Revis. You helped me out of a scrape in Nisus some time back, remember? Quamamine, tonal resonator, devoured bard. Good times. Anyway, here we go again. You, me, and an experiment going poorly. House Telvanni is funding a practical test of my latest invention, the Phantasmal Sensor. It exercises spirits, ghosts, and other spectral beings near instantaneously. The unquiet dead claim countless lives each season, but no longer. The porters and assistants I contracted with have been waylaid in Narcissus, some manner of food poisoning. I'm desperate for an extra set of eyes and hands to help with labor and preparations. Nothing dangerous, I assure you. Oh, I'm so relieved you agreed to help. Before you arrived, I feared my overseers at House Telvanni really might... No matter. Tyrus and I already set up a small field laboratory in the ruined Veyond. Meet us inside and we'll get started. When you're on a mission to quiet down restless ghosts, you go where the restless ghosts are. Angry spirits pile up in these Ayleid ruins like weevils in a hollow log. Feck only knows why. I've never taken much interest in Ayleid history. In Morrowind? Ha, I wouldn't think of it. Silencing an ancestor is blasphemous, even if some of them deserve it. My Aunt Cernsea can't let a visitation go by without complaining about her urn. We know you wanted purple. Get over it already, right?
Taking assistance from random passers-by. The magisters of the house will most certainly have opinions on this. Come to think of it, Revis, a crumbling ruin is an apt place for your final experiment with House Telvanni.
Finally, we can get started. There's a lot riding on this experiment's success. So yes, let's all stay focused and diligent. And also very, very careful. I need you to paint some stabilizing runes around the area to reinforce the sensor's magics. They're not all that elaborate, I promise, but do be mindful. I'm not leaving anything to chance this time. Here are the materials in a template. I infused the paint with ground soul gems to reinforce the rune's potency. At great personal expense, I might add. Right, Tyrus? There's no price too high for success. Try not to use it all right? I have a few more calibrations to attend to. As for Tyrus, he'll probably, observe, for educational purposes. You can speak with him if you have any other questions. Set guide you, my friend. Remember, precision is of the utmost importance, so no loafing or dawdling, you... I'm sorry. We're supposed to use harsh declaratives like that to motivate people. Are you? Yeah, I can tell you're motivated. Great. That's great.
Soul gem-infused runes slathered on alien walls. The poor condition of the stone combined with imprecise template virtually guarantees a lack of efficacy. What is Revis, an amateur? What am I saying? Of course he is. Finally, someone else makes an astute observation. Congratulations! You've just become the second smartest person in the room. The runes Revis wants painted will have, at most, a negligible impact. They're essentially just expensive vandalism. Don't be thick. I have nothing to learn from the likes of Revis Demnevani. This is a mere formality. When I ascend to the Council, I will make weeding out hedge mages like Revis my first priority. Oh, yes. Revis knows where he stands with the Telvanni Council. On a precipice, and after today's nonsense, he will finally fall off.
Welcome back. The runes are in place, right? I'm anxious to begin the experiment. Excellent. By the three, can I just tell you how refreshing it is to hear a voice of support? Thank you. Now, the next step is a bit more complicated. I need you to assist me with a phantasmal sensor's kindling sequence. These magical pylons provide the key. Fair warning, they can be a bit unruly, but the fundamentals are sound. Spectral energy will pass between them freely, but sometimes the crystals dislodge. If that happens, I need you to reattune them. Just pay attention to the energies flowing between them. If no spectral motes pass through one of the pylons, you'll know that's the one that needs fixing. I should warn you, if you try to attune a functional pylon, you might feel a mild shock. It's nice to have a willing pair of hands to assist me. Tyrus seems well acquainted with instruments like these. He could make a real contribution if he wasn't so set on observing all the time. I wish I could convince him to help. Ah, well.
Well, Aren't we supposed to be helping Revis with this folly? No, a lot. I'd barely left the cradle when I erected my first arcane pylon. But if you're asking me to assist Revis in this buffoonery, I'd sooner put trousers on a Vardvark. It's just as fruitless, but infinitely more adorable. I suppose that's your attempt at being clever. Very well, I'll rise to the bait. The sooner we're done with this, the better. Know this, however. I'll not employ his silly whack-a-hackwing methodology. Witness a true mage in action. If you're quite finished, Revis. An artless configuration, to be sure. Balancing the crystal resonance is simple enough. There, a perfect calibration. Much good may it do you.
It's working. Just a moment more and... What? Why isn't it... Good grief! Damn it all! I triple-checked the pylons last night. I field-tested the rooms. I've read everything Barrelzar's ever written aside from his fetching diary, and it still doesn't work. Still! Why won't it work? It needs to work! No. No! You followed my instructions to the letter, and I practically killed myself proving out the theories in my laboratory back home. Literally. My eyebrows only recently grew back. It can't just be bad luck. I must have missed something. Something in Beyond. Some arcane anomaly that disrupts the function of pylons. Of course, the ruin I choose to work in suffers from some heretofore unseen pylon scrambling hocus pocus. Just another day in the life of Revis Demnavani. Well, we need to find the source of the disturbance. Take Tyrus and explore the lower chambers. It shouldn't take him long to identify the culprit. Just make sure to keep him safe. If anything happens to him, my Kwama is well and truly cooked. Right. I'll stay here and inspect the instruments. Again. If I didn't find any flaws the first 3 times, I doubt I'll find any now. But who knows? Maybe Tyrus is right. Maybe this is just a huge waste of time. What do I think? What does that matter? The Telvanni Council detests my work on duemitonal mechanics. They want nothing to do with my study of rare eggs. The phantasmal sensor is the only thing I've ever created that won their approval. Really that important? Well, of course it is. I'm a member of House Telvanni, for Vex's sake. If the Council drums me out, what would I do? Who would I share my theories with? No, once that door closes, it closes forever. It's unthinkable. Absolutely. Yes. Maybe. I don't know, but I have to try. Would I rather be poking around in a dwarven ruin, unraveling the mysteries of tonal architecture? Yes, but no one ever said arcane practice always leads to excitement.
Well, let's get this farce underway. Our maps of Veyond didn't depict this tunnel. Vex head. Be on your guard. Trolls! Hideous savage beast! Keep that brute away from me! There, in the distance, more alien masonry. Finally, no more mucking around the dirt like some clumsy salt rice farmer. There's a strange aura on the other side of this door. Can you feel it? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you can't. Finally. Now then, These Vala stones are clouded, some manner of arcane erosion. They must be the source of Revis's trouble. Destroying them in this state could generate an explosive burst of magicka, and draining their power is no small feat. Unless, of course, you happen to be me. Smash away, hero, and let's get out of this place. I suppose...
Tiris, the interference. I think it may come from clouded...
Vala stones? Indeed. The Help and I already dealt with them. You're welcome.
Oh, well, thank you. Wait, does anyone else feel that?
Intruders? Get out! Get out!
A spirit? Stand back, both of you. It's time for a true test of the phantasmal sensor.
Get it away from me! Back, you creature! I mean it!
Wait, Tiris! No! Ah! Oblivion, take me! He's dead! Tiris is dead! This is a catastrophe! What are we gonna do? I tried to use the phantasmal sensor to quiet that alien spectre, but Tiris panicked and started to banish it with his own magic. His banishing spell mixed with the sensor's power and whoosh! Snuffed out like a candle! I'm doomed! Just vanished. Yeah, sure, just vanished. To the afterlife! This is classic Revis, you know. I'm a pox. I'll just need a moment to think about what I'm going to tell the house about Tiris and the sensor, wherever it flew off to.
What is happening to me?
Oh, Tiris. Even now I can hear him in my mind, haunting me.
I can't. Help me! Use the sensor!
Tiris, he's not gone after all. Please forgive me, Sarah. While I was wallowing in self-pity, you were out here trying to clean up my mess. And by the three, Tiris still lives. Or exists at any rate. What happened when you found him? Along with the clouded Vala stones. Interesting. The sensor might have prompted some kind of animus inversion. The specifics can wait. Whatever happened, he's still aware of his surroundings. He might be able to fix this. We? No. I've done enough damage. I'll come along, offer scholarly advice and such. But you're the only person I trust to see this through. The first step is finding Tiris. His soul seems bound to the ruin and these stones. The clouded Vala stones are sort of thickening the magical fabric of this place. A soul like Tiris's would cause ripples. Allow me to make a small modification to the sensor. There. If you use it now, it should illuminate Tiris's path. I've proven beyond shadow of a doubt that I can't be trusted with that thing. For anyone who is not me, using the sensor is quite simple. Activate it, and a mote of spectral energy should coast toward Tiris. Just follow the mote.
The light, the clouded light, it calls! I can't any longer!
Tyrus, and more clouded Vala stones. By the 3. Were the Ayleids selling them wholesale? I'll probably regret this, but I'll try to attune the stones. You push them out of position. Maybe that will set him free.
No, not enough!
I know that did not look like a success, but I think I know what's happening. These clouded Vala stones. The Ayleids wouldn't have carved imperfect stones in this quantity by accident. There's intention here. They're meant to attract spectral energy like moths to a flame. That's why we keep finding Tyrus among them. Well, it doesn't just yet, but we're definitely onto something. The sensor can banish the stones, and my attunement spell can stabilize them long enough to dislodge them safely. You are one step closer to fixing this. You? What do you do now? Keep tracking Tyrus. I'll try to puzzle out a way to use the sensor and attunement spell to restore Tyrus's corporeal form. We have to move quickly, though. If we don't reach him soon, critical animus decay might set in. That's because it is bad. Let's pick up the pace, all right? Over there! It's Tyrus!
It's so close!
I think I know what's going on. Tyrus is trying to resist the pull of the clouded Vala stones, but his strength is waning. Luckily, he's running into these smaller stone clusters, sort of like falling out of a tree and hitting all the branches on the way down. I'm wagering there is a greater load of this clouded glass somewhere in the ruin. A stockpile or something that dwarfs these other Vala stones in size, potency, or both. Tyrus should eventually find himself there. I can't imagine it will be pleasant, but with enough of the clouded glass in one place, we might be able to create a large enough resonance to restore Tyrus's corporeal form. You using the phantasmal sensor, and me using the attunement spell. I have to. Without my attunement spell, the sensor could banish Tyrus for good. I can't hide from this forever. I am a mage. Hapless and clumsy, perhaps, but a mage all the same. I owe it to Tyrus, to you, and to myself to try. This plan will work, right? Of course it will work. Just follow that moat. I am. It might be a bit morbid, but all this dashing around and puzzle solving, it's why I love being a wizard. I'd nearly forgotten that with Tyrus and House Telvanni pushing me around. We all have to follow our bliss, right? Mine's in old ruins. Name's Mercy. Tyrus is fading faster. Quickly, just smash these stones and we'll hope for the best. There. Now, use the sensor. We have to find the central lode. This is it. Vex's head. It's not a cluster of glass. It's an entire well. All right, let's go over the plan. We were looking for a pile of clouded glass, and instead, we found a limitless font of unstable magicka. Shame we have to destroy it. But let's be honest, I would have found a way to accidentally destroy it before long. Are you ready to save Tyrus? First, we need to replicate the original event. Aim the phantasmal sensor at him and unleash its power. While you're doing that, I'll cast the attunement spell. Weaving the two together should dislodge his animus and restore his corporeal form. Much less confident than you'd like. If it's any consolation, most magisters aren't certain of a hypothesis until they test it. Our test just happens to have the potential for cataclysmic results. Discharging spells and jangling magic sensors in front of an unstable well could prove explosive, but nothing is certain. Magic is more art than science. At least that's what I tell myself in situations like this. 7 in 10? Give or take. You've faced worse odds before, though. Right? Come on, hero! Let's do some heroing! It's working! We did it! Tyrus, are you alright?
Revis! I am alive. Oh, thank you. AM's mercy, I thought I was dead. I never should have cast that. But the ghost was there and I just panicked.
Oh, dear. There, Tyrus. Why don't we head back to camp, alright?
I'm writing the Magister straight away, Revis. You will receive accolades aplenty.
Oh, that's, very generous, Tyrus. Thank you. Well, this is unexpected. I'd resolved to spend the rest of my life in exile, but now Tyrus is singing my praises. Do you think he hit his head or something? I guess anyone can have a change of heart when they have a brush with fate like this. Hopefully, Tyrus's testimonial will earn me some latitude with House Telvanni. Not enough to rise in rank, mind you, but enough to keep them off my back for a while. None of this would have been possible without you. Thank you, Sarah. Safe travels, my friend. And if you ever find yourself in Nisus, feel free to drop by. As soon as I can, yes. The sensor was always a means to an end. Tyrus's letter should give me the boost I need to continue my real work. Rare eggs, dwarven machines, vegetable conjuring, all the bizarre obsessions that House Telvanni scorned. Ha! No. I'm far too clumsy to evade the Telvanni Council's contempt for long. But we have to treasure the time we have, right? I'm sure I'll make some really worthy discoveries before they start nosing around in my work again.
Look, Councillor Leviticus and Captain Rianne sent me. I need to see Councillor Eibor now.
And what about my sister? She hasn't been seen since she took the Councillor her meal.
Councillor Eibor was very clear about this. She doesn't want to be disturbed. Oh, another mercenary. Is our Ivory Brigade so enfeebled that Captain Rianne must resort to hiring sellswords? Look, as I told the Wood Elf, Councillor Eibor was quite insistent. She doesn't want to be disturbed. All right, enough. I can see when I'm being overruled. Very well. I give you permission to enter the watchtower. Councillor Eibor's safety is now in your hands. Lurius? Oh, something about his sister. She's another servant here at the fort. Works in the kitchen, I believe. Apparently, she brought the Councillor her meal. He says she never returned, but the servants look for any opportunity to sneak off. The Councillor demanded we protect her. Said her life was in danger, but refused to give me any details. Imperial confidentiality, she insisted. Above my station. I put her up in the watchtower, and assigned a couple of brigadines to guard her.
Oh no! Councillor Eibor's been murdered! But where's the servant? The Dark Brotherhood's calling card. Eibor's meal is still warm. So what happened to the servant that delivered it? Of course they tore out the pages and took them. Just when we were so close to finding out more about the ambitions. We have a door locked from the outside, a dead counselor, and a missing servant. Did the assassin take off with both the torn-out journal pages and the servant? Anyway, they not only murdered Eibor, they probably know how to find the ambitions now. See that rope hanging from the top of the tower? Bet my bottom acorn that's how the assassin got in and out. But the missing servant... something about that is knocking on the back of my head. And why would the Dark Brotherhood take those pages? Maybe, but everything I've read about the Dark Brotherhood never suggested they would be interested in weapons of war, if that's even what the ambitions are. Damn it, we're loosing arrows in the dark here. Let's tell Commander Orton about Eivor.
So, will Counselor Eivor be returning with you to Leowin? Am I finally going to be able to get my fort back in order? Murdered? Gods, keep your voice down. Do you want to start a panic? Tell me what you found in the watchtower. Let me see that. A black handprint. The sign of the Dark Brotherhood. But where is the servant, Talais? Is she involved in this fiasco? And how did she and the assassin get out of the watchtower? My brigandines never left their post. Well, that explains some of it, but not all. We need to locate Talais. Since you're already involved and working for Captain Rian, I want you to quietly try to find Talais. Start by talking to the other servants in the kitchen and dining hall.
Your sister is fine. This one is certain.
Then where could she be? She would never neglect her duties.
Probably found a dark corner and someone to snuggle with. This one does that all the time. Pleasant days, visitors. How can this one assist you? Ah, Talais. She worries her brother so. She asked me where we kept the hot root flakes. Counselor Eivor sprinkles them on every dish. I told her they are in the pantry, but you need the key from the kitchen to unlock the door.
All right, grab a broom and start sweeping.
What? No, that's Talais' job.
And do you see Talais anywhere? No. Then start sweeping. The servants come to the kitchen to mutter and gossip. This one will not have it. Misaba asks that you do not distract them overly long, as they are already naturally lazy. What is it that you need? That young woman. She has not returned from the watchtower, so her chores remain undone. And she took the pantry key with her when she went. It is no longer hanging on its hook. That is a clear violation of the kitchen rules. A clear violation. The pantry is in the cellar, but the door is around the side of the building. Talais mumbled something about how the counselor loves hot root flakes, grabbed the key and the tray of food and went off. This one hasn't seen her since.
I suppose now I have to do Talais' chores as well as my own. She owes me one, and I aim to collect. She took the counselor her meal and hasn't returned. Did you check the watchtower? Eivor's a little old, but maybe Talais decided to improve her station, if you catch my meaning. Eivor reeks of fear. Maybe Talais finds that attractive. Well, she's been acting like a frightened guar since she arrived. Stays locked up in the watchtower. Only lets a single servant in at a time. And I hear she's been burning papers. Documents of some kind. She's scared out of her wits, if you ask me. Before we check the pantry, let's talk. So, what did we learn? Counselor Eivor was frightened, but that's understandable. Interesting that she was burning documents. Her journal indicated that she knew more than the others. And Talais visited the pantry before heading to the watchtower. Couldn't hurt. And every mystery novel I ever read taught me you should always follow up on every clue, even the ones that seem insignificant. Let's check the pantry and see if she was looking for more than hot root flakes down there. murdered Therese too! Why would the Dark Brotherhood murder... Oh no, we need to talk about this. Alright, I think I figured it out. The assassin followed Therese down here, murdered her, and took her place so they could gain access to the watchtower. Pretty clever, but they didn't have to kill her. No, not from what I've read anyway. I thought they only killed those whose names appeared on their contracts. I can't imagine anyone asked them to kill a poor servant. Yes, but we still need to check on Councillor Valeria, and someone needs to go to Gideon and make sure that Councillor Vandacia is all right. Can I leave those tasks to you? I want to return to Leowyn and consult with Councillor Leviticus. Oh, good point. Before you head out, report to Commander Orton. Tell him what happened to Therese, and how we think the assassin slipped into the watchtower undetected. His brigandines need to be able to recognize an imposter when they see one. After you report to the commander, make contact with Councillors Valeria and Vandacia. Valeria went to Tidewater Cave to get her records, and Vandacia works in the Gideon courthouse. Cracked acorns! I suddenly had the weirdest feeling come over me. Yes. No, I don't know. We were talking about the counselors, Valeria and Vandacia. Suddenly I had a premonition. It was brief and disturbing and mildly unpleasant, like the dreams I've been having. But this is the first time while I was awake. Remember I told you about that strange book I found? The one with the Daedric writing that I can't read? I've been having bad dreams since I found it, and the dreams are becoming more frequent. This time it happened right while we were talking. It was just a flash, but it was accompanied by a feeling. I felt a sense of overwhelming evil, all tied up in the figure I saw in my mind. Like someone held a portrait in front of my face for just a moment and then pulled it away. It was one of the Waking Flame cultists, I think. Someone powerful, in command. A dark silhouette wrapped in a cloak. I'll never forget the feeling it invoked. It was like a wave of hopelessness. We can deal with this later. Let's get back to it.
All right. You talked to the fort's servants and rummaged around in our pantry. What's the verdict? Did you find the missing servant? That's... Oh, that's horrible. Are you sure? No. Of course you're sure. No one would lie about something like that. I'll tell her brother what happened and send someone to tend to her body. Gods, what a day this has been.
The mercenary. A few moments later, and you would have found an empty cave. Your timing really is impeccable. We've already packed up my records, and we're about to head out. But what news of the other counselors? Did your warnings reach them in time? All three of them? That's disheartening news. Well, I'll take my records to Leowyn. Perhaps between the two of us, Counselor Leviticus and I can ascertain what past incident has returned to haunt us. Oh, just a lifetime of public service and bureaucracy. Mostly financial records, but also meeting notes, ledgers, those sorts of things. I oversaw budgets and finances, the collection of taxes, public works, and I kept immaculate records. That's good to hear. Emperor Leovic loved to hide things in coded documents. But what about Counselor Vandacia? Do we know if he's still safe in Gideon? Perfect. Remind him he's too old to play the hero, and I want to see him in Leowyn Castle immediately, if not sooner. These Brigadines will make sure I get to the city safely. Me and my records, both. Godspeed, mercenary.
So if that's north, that means... Wait, that's not right. Oh, more was mercy. A little help, anyone? Are you from around here? Sorry, I'm not familiar with Gideon and... Wait, are you here because of my flyers? Thank Ruptka. Call me Yasara. I'm here on a thrilling, inspirational journey, and I could really use a sturdy companion. I'm an author. Aspiring, really. I've penned a few romance novels, but they all lack, what's the word? Authenticity, yes. So, I resolved to get out into the world and find my muse. Now, here's the exciting part. I found it in Castle Giaves. Yes, well, not exactly. A tragic affair played out there years ago, and love-struck spirits still haunt the castle. I acquired a magic lantern that allows me to speak to the ghosts. But you know, ghosts. I need you to ward off the angrier spirits. Thank you for agreeing to accompany me. With your help, my next romance novel will be a masterpiece. Here, take the lantern. Now, fair warning, I've never actually used it, but I heard a ghostly woman wanders the city gardens. We can test it there.
I'm still waiting on my last supply order. Never did I think my business would flourish like it is.
Have you?
news about Gideon's students' plan.
Assert little rubies crowns her head, tangled blankets as she falls in bed.
You made it! All right, this is the place where people see the spirit. Go on and try out the lantern. So, here we are, the city gardens. Now, I guess it's time to rouse the spirits, eh? I'm ready. Are you ready? If you're not, we can wait a while. In fact, maybe we should come back tomorrow. Start fresh, you know? Nervous? Just look at me. I'm steady as a leaf. Steady as a rock, I mean. Even so, I prefer that you be the one to use the lantern. It's these damn Red Guard taboos. Undead spirits and creatures really put us off our appetite. Yes, absolutely. No one ever said writing the world's greatest romance novel would be easy. Goosebumps or no, I'm going to unravel this tale and put it to good use. Now then, let's get on with it before I lose my nerve. Perhaps they're near that overturned slab?
Who intrudes upon my grief? Gioves is lost. My son is lost. All that remains is sorrow.
Tava's feathers! I was right! All right, you talk, I'll take notes.
You can see me? It matters little. The miseries of Castle Gioves bind me here, bind all of us here. We are cursed. Our gardens wither, our once great walls crumble, and my gentle son feels nothing but heartache. I am Duchess Estella of Castle Gioves. As for the curse, it is the work of a vile trollop named Alizinda. Arche scorn her soul. My darling boy, Mathan was infatuated with her. And how did she repay his affection? By murdering him in cold blood. I cannot bear to speak of it any more. My poor Mathan. I sense his presence sometimes. He's bound to the place where he died. An old cottage northeast of Gioves. Place where he and Alizinda trysted. Help him. Help my son. Succeed where his mother failed.
It worked! I told you it would work! Tall Papa's breeches, what a tale! A ghostly duchess, lusty young nobles, betrayal and murder. This story's got it all. Whew. Is it getting hot out here or is it just me? Yes, tied to a cottage nearby. I can almost picture it. Rustic, secluded, tassel quilts, embers smoldering on the hearth. Gives me the prickles. Almost makes you forget someone likely died there. Something she said does trouble me a bit. The Duchess said the lover's name was Alizinda. That was my great-great-grandmother's name. It can't be a coincidence, can it? She lived in Gideon for a time before moving back to Alakir. Do you think my ancestor murdered Mathan? is the cottage the Duchess mentioned, I think. Not all that romantic, is it? Let's look around. Nothing but creaky floorboards and old weeds for me. I knew I should have brought my spectacles. What did you find? May I? Her anguish just jumps off the page, doesn't it? So, Mathen intended to marry someone else and Alazinda killed him in a fit of passion. Can you imagine loving someone so deeply that you end up murdering them? Gods, that's romantic. Sort of. It's a ring of Mara, the sort of ring used in a pledge of marriage. Mathen might have intended to give it to this mysterious fiancé or... I'll hang on to the ring. Let's use the lantern. Maybe Mathen can shed some light on this.
Who's there? Alazinda, my love. Is it you?
So this is Mathen?
This light. It offers some respite from my sorrows. You have my thanks. I am Mathen Galenus, heir to the Duchy of Gioves. What brings you to this place? Curse? Is heartache not curse enough? My great love, Alazinda, poisoned me on the very night I meant to propose to her. Someone deceived her. Told her I meant to marry another. She killed me, yes. But it was an act of jealous grief, not witchcraft. I do not know. I've learned that certain objects hold a grip on the soul. Things we treasured in life. In my darkest moments, I sometimes feel drawn to the chapel where they laid my body to rest. I see harsh light glinting off my golden armor. Maybe these long, gray years make it difficult to think. Seek out the chapel. You will find it to the west, amidst the ruins of the castle. If my armor keeps me in this sorry state, I beg you to find it. Without love, there is nothing for me here. My lady, forgive my impertinence, but you are the very image of my lost love, Alazinda. How could this be?
Oh my goodness. I believe I'm her descendant, brave Sir Duke, Baron, whatever. My name's Ysara, by the way. What were we talking about again?
You share her spirit, Lady Ysara. At last, fate grants me a kindness.
We must help him. That poor soul. I'll catch up to you at the chapel, all right? I need to jot down some notes. Well, here we are, and not a scrap of golden armor in sight. Let's have a look around. Well, here we are, and not a scrap of golden armor in sight. Let's have a look around. What's that you've got there? Not a golden helm by any chance. A magical incantation. The handwriting is different from Alizinda's journal. That means she can't be responsible for the curse. I knew my ancestor wasn't a sorceress. A murderer? Maybe, but not a sorceress. Of course, this all begs the question. Yes, and more importantly, why? The person who cast the spell clearly had an axe to grind. Maybe it was a court wizard or some jilted witch. My novel's less romance and mystery at this point. Let's use the lantern again. Maybe the culprit's here.
What are you doing here? Why aren't you caring for my boy? Did you find my dear Mathin? Can't I trust you to locate a simple cottage? How is that possible? It had to be Alizinda. When Mathin died, the Duchy's light died with him. That Redguard wench cast us into darkness. If I could just have brought him back, I could have... Yes, Harkay, forgive me. I wept over his body in this very chapel for 3 days without sleep or nourishment. My grief was ocean deep. He was my only boy. And so I cast a simple spell. I tried to draw him back with promises of glory. I failed. I cast the spell over his armor and sword, but it went awry. I wrote everything down. You can find my notes in my private study beneath the eastern wall. If you find his helm, breastplate, and shield too, you might be able to set things right.
Necromancy? How could she...
You! Oh, I see you well enough, Redguard. You think I don't notice the family resemblance? You stay away from my boy!
Tava's feathers. Bit touchy, isn't she? Let's make our way to this private study. Carefully. His own mother toying with dark magic in this very room. What a plot twist! You found something. You found Duchess Estella's notes that quickly? Think Rooped Guy can rely on your eyes. Can barely see a thing in this place. What do they say? Really? Oh, I think I spotted some on the way across the castle grounds. I knew that herbalism workshop would come in handy someday. If we do manage to find the armor, be careful pulling it out of the tangle. Heartsbane's quite deadly. I saw a clump of Heartsbane on the way here. Come on! This way, I think. There! That's Heartsbane, right? You found his helm? We're off to a great start. Unless... Sorry. I feel like we've assembled most of the clues to this mystery, but I just can't shake the feeling that we're missing something here. Well, Duchess Estella got them into the situation, right? She cast the ugly spell that cursed poor Mathin, and now we're gathering up the items she used to make this mistake in the first place? It can't be that simple. What are we missing? Maybe not. She wasn't a professional necromancer. Maybe she missed something too. Remember what Mathin told us? Certain objects take hold of the soul. If that's the case, isn't it odd that we found him in the cottage instead of the chapel? Only one way to find out. Let's use the lantern again. I'm still carrying the ring. If he followed us here, maybe we're onto something.
Lady Ysara, I had not expected to see you again. Why do you summon me? Where are we? It's been so long since I walked the grounds of the castle. I scarcely recognize it. Whatever the place, it is good to speak to someone again, and to see the fair image of my lost love. Spell? Some ill-conceived plot to resurrect me, I presume. Mother never could suppress her passion for the occult. Now we both pay the price. But even so, I feel something else now. Some other force that nags at my soul. Something fairer, softer. My Ring of Mara? I had not thought to see it again. I see it clearly now, though. At rest near the heart of the fair Lady Ysara. The course is clear, friend. Gather my armor and rid me of the curse. In the meantime, I will bask in Ysara's glow. Lady Ysara, you bear not only Alizinda's ring, but her spirit as well. Had I a heart, it would pound like a drum at the sight of you.
Thank you, Mathin. I'm sorry for what happened to you. My friend and I will fix it, I promise.
Having you beside me is all I need. Come, let me sweep you away. Find my armor and break the curse. Your friend will be safe with me in the meantime.
Oh my! What just happened? Mathin, what did you do?
You summon me again? Did you find the armor? Where is your lecherous friend? Just like her ancestor, ensnaring her betters, meddling in family affairs. Huh. Mathin should be thanking me for sparing him the pain. Mathin truly meant to marry Alizinda, a woman with no pedigree, no means, and no great talent. She was a no one. I couldn't bear the idea of him throwing his future, and that of our duchy, away over some childish romance. So I spread a rumor. I only meant to split them apart. It was for his own good. Oh, typical of low-bred paupers, she overreacted. Mathan died by her hand, not mine. None of this matters. What matters is breaking the curse. I need one last object. The Sword of Gioves. It is in the mausoleum, beneath the Great Bridge, guarded by Calvis Vannon, 1st Duke of Gioves. Retrieve the sword and bring everything you found to Tavia's tower. If all goes as it should, we can reverse the spell, and set both of us free. I don't want that woman lingering near my son any more than you do. Find the sword, and bring it to the tower. Mathan, my darling boy. We can finally end this curse.
And now I part with the Lady Ysara as well? Is there nothing you won't take from me?
Place the regalia, adventurer. It is well past time we left.
Farewell, dear lady. I wish we had more time.
Mathan! Why aren't you... Mathan!
I'm still here?
My poor Mathan. What went wrong?
I am sorry for absconding with dear Lady Ysara. I found myself conflicted, torn between two intentions. One in the cursed armor, and another in the Ring of Mara. You sundered Mother's curse, but it seems my soul remains tied to the ring. Trapped, perhaps. The foul burden of necromancy no longer weighs me down, but my connection to the ring is no less intense. It's passionate, fiery. It's like all my unfulfilled dreams and desires remain bound to that band. And to Lady Ysara. Perhaps, part of me still yearns for the warmth of Aetherius. But now, as I behold the beautiful Lady Ysara, I'm given pause. She is so like my beloved Alicinda, with a heart as warm as the sands she walked as a child. I must speak with her. Lady Ysara, light of my afterlife. That ring you carry is the key to my heart. I leave my fate in your hands.
My hands? Mathin, what are you saying?
If you choose to wear the ring, I will remain by your side, an attentive and loving guardian.
Are you serious? Tall Papa, preserve me.
Destroy the ring, and I will pass to Aetherius. The choice, my lady, is yours.
Did I just get a proposal from a ghost? Up until now, the only man who ever wooed me was a stable hand in Bergama. I know I should recoil at this. It's profane, blasphemous, right? But gods, he's cute. And the way he speaks, it's like a dream. Ugh! How could he lay something like this at my feet? I can barely decide which boots to wear most days. When he swept me away, he told me his heart was torn to pieces. He said I was the only balm. He said I was his second chance. I don't know. Aside from the whole ghostly murder victim thing, this is what my heart always yearned for. It's why I write romance novels. The thought that I could bring him love and joy is intoxicating. Still, he deserves peace and rest, right? Yes, I want to write and travel and feel the rush of romance every time I slip on this ring. Mathin and I have so much to offer one another. It will be a little weird, yes, but like I said before, who wants normal romance? Certainly not me. I want you to stay with me, Mathin. I know it's weird, but...
Weird? No, my lady. Unique. Unique and perfect.
I was attacked in the streets of our fair city, Keshu. I demand you deal with the criminal post-haste.
Your guards did their job, Counselor Vandacia. The prisoner is secure.
And what's this? More assassins? Explain yourself immediately.